welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host, JC. Today we're going to take the mystery out of the Beeman QB2 1085. They make this in both 177 and 22 caliber. Today we're going to use a 22 caliber. This might look familiar. It's similar to the QB78s, but this one has a magazine. But anyway, we'll get into this in a second, but do me a favor if you hadn't already. It's absolutely free. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button down there, really helps out the channel. I greatly appreciate that. Also, if you have the opportunity, check out my website, www.airgundetectives.com. On that site, I've got t-shirts, I've got my Generation 2 bipods, I got trigger screws, and that's how I kind of keep this going. I make a little bit of money on that stuff, and it helps fund this whole process. In addition, I also put some of my personal inventory up there. So, and I'm going to put a lot more up there. I just got to go through it. I have a lot of inventory. But what I like to do is recycle. So I'll sell some of the inventory that I have. That'll give me opportunity to have the finances to purchase some new stuff, and then I can bring some other stuff to you. Anyway, let's get back to the subject on hand. Our 1085 here. This is a pretty impressive gun. I'm going to tell you right off the top. These run, I'm going to tell you right now, right around 140 bucks. Okay? And what this is, it is a CO2 rifle. It takes two 12-gram CO2s, and they're loaded right through the front here. You just pull this cap off. One CO2 is going to go forward, and then the other CO2 goes backwards. So you push them both in, you then put your cap back on, tighten it up. The cap here will pierce the first CO2, then you'll actually cock the rifle, which this can be decocked, which is kind of nice. Anyway, and then you'll fire it though. And when you fire the rifle, it'll actually puncture the back CO2. So it takes two 12-gram CO2s. The rifle itself, overall, is 38.5 inches. This actually has a 21-inch barrel. Synthetic stock, nice solid stock. It really is. It feels really good in the hands. Comes with a Picatinny rail on the bottom here, so you can put a bipod on it if you like. Doesn't come with a bipod. I threw that on there just because it makes a nice little display here. You got fiber optic sights on this one, fully adjustable for windage and elevation. So you got the green in the back, and then you have your orange or reddish in the front. It's pretty solid gun. You'd have your 11 millimeter scope rail here. So if you want to put some optics on that, and we'll go ahead and do that when we're shooting our targets so we can get the best accuracy as possible out of there. Comes with a fully adjustable trigger. It's a single stage trigger, but these are awesome triggers, and I probably mentioned this before. These are the same triggers that come on the Gauntlet. Barra uses them. There's a couple other manufacturers using them. They're fantastic triggers. They're proven triggers. Got a manual safe on it right here. And what else? Magazine. This is one of those 10-round magazines. You've got to rotate it. You rotate it and then load your pellet in, and then you load the other 9. It also comes with a single shot tray. So if you just like to shoot single shot, which we'll probably do in the accuracy test, because sometimes when you're shooting the magazines, have a tendency to maybe ding a skirt, and it could cause a little accuracy issues. That way the single shot tray, you get the most accuracy out of it. So that's what we'll probably use for the accuracy test. The difference in this rifle, remember I was talking about the QB78s? The QB78s, when you open the bolt on that, the bolt comes back really easy, and you actually cock the rifle by pushing it forward. This is the opposite. This is more normal. This, you cock the rifle by pulling it backwards. So this is you pull it backwards and it cocks it. And that's the difference kind of in the mechanism here. Other than that, the rifles are pretty much the same. They really are. But these are a lot of fun to shoot. So let's go out. And if you haven't seen this one, and I don't think there's many people who have done a review on this. In fact, my buddy Matt out of Georgia brought that to my attention, that, hey, this rifle really hasn't been reviewed. So I says, oh, well, we got to get on that, that's for sure. But anyway, let's go out and have some fun with this, and we'll put it through our usual gamut, and then we'll come back at the end and we'll chat about it. So stay tuned for the next segment. Okay, let's test our 22 caliber 1085 over the Chrono. We're just going to 5 shots, average it out. Pellet that did actually really well on this is a Barracuda Green. These are roughly a 13 grain pellet. But they're a alloy pellet. But anyway, they're a 13 grain, so not overly light. But after I shoot 5 shots, we'll average it out, and then I'm going to tell you how well it did with a very common pellet. So let's see how we do here. All right, shot number 1. 580. And Shot number 2. 576. Not overly a warm day. I'm going to tell you guys it's probably about 68 degrees today. It's not a cold day either, so anyway. Okay, so that's 2 shots. Let's go shot number 3. 580 again. Shot number 4. 573. Last but not least, one more shot. 574. Yeah, pretty low standard deviation there, but pretty respectable as far as that goes. Common pellet. Crossman Hollow Point Premier, 14.3 grain. These did about 540 feet per second, which gave us just under 10 foot-pounds of energy. So not too bad for a CO2 rifle, that's for sure. Okay, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's test our Beeman out for some accuracy here. We're going to shoot some field target trophies. These are the H&N Sport. These did really well. There's actually a couple others that did well, some other H&Ns, but I'll kind of cover those at the end. We're going to shoot our splatterburst targets. These are the 4-inch targets. We're at 20 yards. This is our break barrel distance, which I figured would probably be appropriate for this CO2 rifle. So go ahead and check out our distance real quick. Okay, so we're going to shoot 5 shots. We'll average it out. I'm actually going to use the single shot tray because it has a less tendency to nick or hit a skirt on these pellets, so we're going to get better accuracy with this. So I'm just going to use the single shot. And then when we go to the plinking session, we'll use the magazine. But so field target trophies, these are 14.66 grain. So let's just do, as we said, 5 shots. All right. Shot number 1. Can't get much better than that, that's for sure. Shot number 2. Shot number 3. Shot number 4. Not saying anything. And one more. Shot number 5. Whoa. Whoa. A little bit of an anomaly. Pretty much, I put every pellet through the same hole there. That is an amazing group. But to be perfectly honest with you guys, in all my practice sessions, I would get 4 in one hole, and then there would always be like a little flyer. Like you'd go 2, and then 1 would be a flyer. And I mean slight flyer, it would be out. I'll show you those targets at the end. But on camera, we got lucky here because you can't get any better than that. I mean, that is one amazing group, if I do say so myself. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's test the pull weight on the trigger on our 1085 here. Now, I did adjust these triggers. These triggers are fantastic. They're pretty common. You've seen them in quite a few other rifles. Same trigger set group is in the Gauntlet, the Umerix Gauntlet, the Barra, some of the other rifles, but it's a really great trigger because you can really fine tune it. So I set this for target shooting, so it's going to be pretty light. I haven't tested it with as far as pull weight goes, but I'm going to guess it's going to be under a pound. So let's check it out. But the great thing is if you want to hunt with this, you can stiffen up the trigger, you lighten it. It's really simple. Okay. Got our trusty Lyman trigger gauge. We're all reset here. Let's give this a pull. Again, I'm going to guess it's under a pound. .5 ounces. So yeah, we're well under a pound. 10.5 ounces. But like I said, it's a very versatile trigger. You want it a lot heavier, you can adjust it that way. I have it set for target shooting because we want a nice light trigger so we can try to get the best accuracy as possible. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, let's do a little plinking with our 1085 here. What we're going to go ahead and shoot is the H&N Sports. These are just under a 14 grain kind of wad cutter. But I just want to show you guys this thing's not overly pellet picky. However, we're not going to be pushing this all the way out to our 40 yards. It's a little too long for it, so I have my 35-yard range. Go ahead, check that out. Yeah, as you can see, we got a lot of little animals there. I've got, yes, an H&N Barracuda green tin and an aluminum can. So we're going to see if we can knock all that stuff down, and let's have some fun. That's what this is all about. All right. Okay, let's start with the can on the right side. And that is a hit. Let's just keep working our way across. Okay, we got the little pig. Oop, hit it, turned it. We're going to come back and finish that off. And we'll just go down the line. Okay, the can. Got that. Okay, what do we got? A ram? Yeah, it looks like a ram. Let's see if we can hit the ram. Got the ram. All right. The little pig. It's a little smaller target. Got it. Okay, big ram. I hope I have enough pellets in this. We got that. Let's see if we can come back. Oh, I got one shot left. Let's see if we can come back and get that little pig. It's kind of at a funny angle, but let's see if we can hit it anyway. Yes! And we got it. Yeah, the accuracy on this thing is pretty amazing. It really is. All right, let's move on to the last segment. We'll wrap this up. All right, let's wrap this up with our conclusion. Well, I'd say our 1085 did excellent. These are just an absolute pleasure to shoot. They are, and remember, under 150 bucks. You can't beat that. So let me talk about negatives. I usually have negatives. They're really hard to come by on this one. So the only negative I can come up with is I'm not a huge fan, and you guys maybe heard me say this before, I'm not a huge fan on the rotating magazines. I hate the fact that you got to rotate them, and then you got to put a pellet in there to keep it from springing back, and then you load your other pellets. I just think it's kind of a PETA. Yes, a PETA. Definitely a pain in the, you can finish that one off. But I prefer magazines that you just load them and rotate it. Load it and rotate it, and that way if you top them off is great. But that's my only negative, and for a $150 gun, that's a pretty minor negative. It really is. So let's get back to the positives. The positives, tremendous value. Tremendous value. You're getting a solid gun here. You're getting a really solid stock, mostly metal gun. You're getting a little Picatinny rail on this. You're getting decent velocity. I mean, we exceeded what the manufacturer said we were going to get. And I don't know if you guys know, but these guns are so easy to work on. Seriously, I mean, you can tear them down to nothing there, and then you can modify them. The modifications on this are great. If you want to open transfer ports or do things like that, you totally can do it. I even did a little, maybe I'll make a video sometime of some of the stuff that you can do to it. But minor little adjustment to increase some pressure on the hammer spring. I mean, it's just easy. It's easy, easy stuff. So anyway, what else do I love about it? The fact that you do get the 10-round magazine. The fact that it holds 10 rounds and you can just boom, 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 go right through them just with a bolt action. And you do have the option of the single shot tray, which is always nice if you want that tremendous accuracy. So again, we did get decent velocity out of it and tremendous accuracy. You guys saw the target I shot on camera, and that was one of the better ones. Here's a couple others that I was shooting, just, you know, mixing some different pellets up here. I think these were some H&N Sports. You guys can see those. I mean, still very, very, very decent groups. If you look at those. And then notice they even get better. I mean, we're talking quarter-inch group at 20 yards. And then not to mention the one on camera. What was that, like 0.15 or something? This one's like 0.13. I mean, really amazing, amazing, amazing accuracy. What else do I like about this? The trigger. Guys, this trigger is phenomenal. And again, same trigger group that you would find in some of the gauntlets. Barra has them. So easy to work on, so easy to adjust. They really are predictable, nice triggers, and it's just, you can customize them however you want. Me, I do mostly obviously target shooting, so I keep it really, really light, so it works out great. You're going to get about 60 to 70 really good shots with your two CO2s, and don't forget CO2 weather. I mean, we're approaching it. We're in summertime here, and you're going to get obviously the best performance in warmer weather. So your actual ambient temperature directly affects, you know, your CO2 and the performance on that. But I like it. Sometimes it's nice because you can just toss in two CO2s. I'm going to get 60, 70 shots, no fuss, no mess, and done. Put it away. And by the way, it does not hurt to leave your CO2 charged in these tubes, just so you know that. I maybe mentioned that to you before, but it absolutely does not hurt. You're not going to wear out any seals. You're not going to hurt anything. It's just the guns where the CO2 sets on a O-ring of some type or seal, and it puts constant pressure where you're crushing the seal. This doesn't do this. This seals itself in the tube. So you can actually leave your CO2 in these rifles. It is not going to hurt them whatsoever. Yes, that's the truth on that one. Also, you know, talking about accuracy on this, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. You know, I did the plinking at 35 yards because I wanted, on my 35-yard range, I wanted a little bit more impact when we were hitting things. But I actually shot decent at 40 yards. There was a little bit, you know, your point of aim was off quite a bit. But check out these groups. I hit some of these metal targets, and you can see how the lead marked the metal targets, and that was from this. So it actually did, actually quite well all the way out to that distance. So you would knock like aluminum cans down, anything like that. You could probably do that all the way out to 50 yards in a contest if you wanted to kind of arc a pellet. And like I said, the 177 is going to travel a little bit farther than this one, but the performance is really good. So now you ask yourself overall, how are you going to rate this gun? Are you kidding me? For under 150 bucks to get performance like this, to get accuracy like this, to get an overall rifle with a good trigger like this, 5 stars without a doubt. This is a 5-star rifle. And I would encourage you to add one to your collection. If you're like on the fence, seriously, for under 150 bucks, it's a lot of fun. This gun's a lot of fun and really easy to customize. You notice I polished this. It didn't come that way. I just looked at it and said, oh, I should take that off. There's a little Allen bolt in the back. You just loosen that up. This pops right out. And I polished it, put it back on. It was that simple. Why? Just because I could. All right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Airgun Detectives. Don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the airgun. So until next time, I hope you and your families are doing well. You're getting plenty of shooting in. So take care and God bless.